Alright, this is 313. This is sequences. This is the last section in chapter 13, this long chapter that we've been working in. Everything up until this point has been building on the other sections. Right? We did rational equations where we added, simplified, subtracted, multiplied, and divided. Well, sequences is kind of thrown in there. It doesn't really fit any of the other sections. It's kind of like they just added it as one more last algebra section that we need to be talking about. What is a sequence? A sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A sequence is a series of numbers separated by a comma. They can have a pattern or they may not have a pattern. Okay? All of the ones that we're going to do are going to have a pattern. Okay? Pattern is also known as a rule. We typically say, when we say it to the nth term, we write the rule like this. We say A sub n. That's how that's read. A sub n. In this case, the rule would just be n. Why? Because when we stuck in the first term, we got a 1. We stuck in the second term, we got a 2. We stuck in the third term, we got a 3, and so on and so on. Obviously, not all sequences are going to be this easy. But I wanted to start off easy and us understand what a sequence is. When I stick in the first term, I get a 1. I get this value. Okay? What would happen if I said find A sub 10? Right? What is A sub 10? Well, that's the 10th term. What do you do with 10 to find the 10th term? Well, you plug it in for n. What would the 10th term be in this sequence? It'd be 10. Right? This isn't rocket science. What would the 27th term be? 27. In this sequence, it's that easy. They're not all that easy. Okay? Questions? Any questions so far? I want to get to something a little better. Alright, so let's look at a different sequence. Let's do 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Okay? This is another sequence. Okay? If I asked you what the next term of the sequence was, that's a potential question on your homework, right? They say find the next term. Could you find the next term?
Yes.
Yeah. What is it?
14.
14. Right? It should be obvious to you that you're adding 2 each time. So the next term would be 14. Another thing that they could say find the rule. If they say find the rule, then you're going to say A sub n. Right? At least you ought to be able to do that and say A sub n. Okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do something different and we'll come back to this. But if we're trying to find the rule here, the rule is something that gives us, when I stick in a 1, meaning the first term, my outcome is a 4. When I stick in a 2, my outcome is 6. When I stick in a 3, my outcome is 8, and so on and so on. Right? When I stick in a 4, my outcome is a 10, and so on and so on. The first question you need to ask yourself when writing the rule is, how much are you increasing or decreasing each time? How much are you going up by each time, or how much are you going down by each time? And how much are you in this problem?
2.
You're going up by 2. If that's the case, you're going to have a 2n in your rule. 2n might be the rule. It might not be the rule. You have to check it to see if that's the end-all to end-all, if you figured it out. Here's how you check it. If I take 1 and I put it in for n, do I get 4? No, I don't. If I take 2 and put it in for n, I don't get 6. So we're not there yet. What we need to do is take 2n and somehow turn it into 4. How do we take 2n, put a 1 in, meaning my first term, and the outcome is 4? What do I need to add to 2n to turn it into 4? Well, I put a 1 right there, I got 2. How do I turn 2 into 4? I add 2. So if I add 2 in this hypothetical situation, what do you think I need to do in my formula over here? Add 2. And it's that easy. We'll come back to this in just a minute. but I wanted to show you that that's a potential test question. Write the rule. Let's check this. If I take 1 and plug it in, do I get 4? Yes, I do. If I take 2 and I plug it in, do I get 6?
Yes.
Yes. If I take 3 and plug it in, do I get 8?
Yes.
And so on and so on. The fifth term, sixth term, if I plug in 6, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2, do I get 14?
Yes.
Yes. Now that you have the rule, could you tell me the 51st term if I asked you? If I asked you some random term. I certainly don't want to have to write these out 51 times. If I have the rule, is it a lot easier to find the 51st term?
Yes.
What do I do with the 51?
Plug 51.
Plug it in for n. What's 2 times 51? 102. Plus 2 is 104. So could you find the 57th term or the 81st term or any term I ask you? Once I give you the rule, you should be good to go. Okay? You can find any rule that I want you to. Or, sorry, any term that I want you to. Dylan?
Did you get that 4 from the first one?
Yes, I did. Because I stuck in a 1, my outcome was a 4. Okay? Good question. Anybody else? All right, let's go back a little bit and let's talk about how to find terms. Okay? Because they're not always going to be this easy. Sometimes, instead of giving you the sequence, the sequence and asking you for the rule, they are going to give you the rule. They're going to say a sub n equals n minus 7. Okay, this is a fairly easy rule. We'll do this one. The directions are going to say find the first 6 terms of the sequence. They're going to give you a rule, right? And they're going to ask you, I want you to organize it in a T-chart. Okay? The first 6 terms. Well, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm finding the first 6 terms of the sequence. Okay? What about over here? Well, my outcome is going to be a sub n. Right? What came out of the sequence? All right? If I stick in a 1, right here, what was my outcome? Negative 6. Okay? This is how easy this is. Is it okay to use your calculator? Sure it is. Right? If I stick in a 2, what's my outcome? Negative 5. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Alright? If I stick in a 3, what's my outcome?
Negative 4.
Negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, and so on and so on and so on. So, they may ask you a question, and it's as easy as it looks. They're going to say, find the first 6 terms of the sequence. Okay? All you do is make a little T-chart like this, and you find the first 6 terms. Any questions? Alright, let's do one a little harder. Question? Any questions? Let's do, yes.
It has to be the first 6?
No, they could say find the first 12, but the ones in the book and the ones on the test are going to say normally find the first 6 terms. Good question. Alright, let's do another. This is all I have to change. Let's say a sub n equals n over 2n minus 1. Alright, how many n's do you have? You have 2. You have one on top and you have one on bottom. Where am I going to have to stick the 1 in? Both of them. Right? If you got 2 n's, stick them in both places. Okay? What would the first one be? If I take 1 and I plug it in right there and right there, I'd have 1 on the top and I'd have 2 times 1, which is 2 minus 1. So if I stick in 1, what do I get? 1. Okay? I took 1, right, my first term, and I put it there and there. So I got 1 over 2 times 1 minus 1. That's 1 over 1, which is 1. Okay? How about 2? What's 2 going to give me? Well, that'd be 2 over 2 times 2 minus 1, which would be 4 minus 1. Exactly right. Is it okay to say 2/3? Do I want a decimal in this problem? No decimals. Why not? The problem gave it to you in fractions. Your answer needs to be in fractions. All right, finish it out. Do 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now at your desk. All right, finish this out. Find 3, 4, 5, 6. And I would use my calculator. Okay, especially if you struggle with fractions, use your calculator. Let me see. What would the next one be? 3/5. Do you see a pattern? All right. What would the next one be?
4/7.
4/7. What's the next one going to be?
5/9.
5/9. And what's the next one going to be?
6/11.
6/11. Okay. Let me ask you this. Let's say I was doing this problem and I ended up with an answer like this, 11/2. Would that be okay to give as an answer?
Yes.
Yes, all day long. Improper is fine. However, what if I got an answer and it looked like this, 6/2? Would I leave it as 6/2?
No.
No, you would simplify that to 3. What if you got an answer like 4/6? Would you be allowed to leave it as 4/6? No. So in your notes, you need to write simplify all fractions. But you do not have to rewrite them. Say simplify all fractions, and then you could say don't rewrite them. There's no reason to rewrite them. Okay? Questions?
So you don't use mixed numbers?
You don't use mixed numbers. That's exactly right. Simplify all fractions, no mixed numbers.
What do you mean rewrite?
Meaning 11/2, I don't want to rewrite that as 5.5. No reason to write it as 5.5. All right. Yes.
With a sub n, does n need to be lowercase or capitalized?
Doesn't really matter. Either way. All right, let's try these two. Tell me the first 6 terms on that one. And then tell me the first 6 terms
Is it n plus 1 or exponent?
that's an exponent. And then tell me the first 6 terms on this one. Is it okay to use your calculator?
Yep.
Yes, very much so. Try these 2 problems now at your desk.